Hey guys, Autumn and I are here with one of our favorite mortgage brokers, Jim Steffler, and we're going to talk a little bit about what everyone's been hearing in the news about the new CMHC rules. So, Jim, tell us first of all, what exactly is CMHC?
Good question. Good question. So it's the Canadian Housing and Mortgage Corporation. So in a nutshell, I'll explain what that is. If you purchase a house and you have less than 20% down, you need mortgage insurance. So CMHC is the company which more or less facilitates that insurance in the background. So long story short, if you have less than 20% down, your mortgage is going to be insured, maybe through CMHC.
Perfect. Now, what changes were just made with the CMHC?
Yeah, no problem. So they made three. The first thing they did was they raised their minimum beacon score, so their credit rating score. So basically, some person on the mortgage needs a score of 680. That's not too bad, to be honest. The second change they made was almost never used anyways. You could borrow your down payment, but it was subject to approval. And really, to make the ratios work, it's super rare. So they took away that, and that's fine. It's the third thing which kind of got everybody concerned. So they changed the ratios, and that looks very confusing when people see 35 and 42 and GDS, TDS. Here's what it means in a nutshell. It would have limited how much somebody can borrow in terms of a mortgage. So it cuts somebody by about roughly 9 to 13%, depending on the file. So if you were a first-time home buyer and you're going to buy a, I don't know, $500,000 house, suddenly come July 1st, you can buy a $450,000 house. So that's a pretty big impact.
Mm-hmm.
That is a pretty big change, Jim. So, how exactly will these rules impact our buyers?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm kind of here to spread the positive news because I keep reading everywhere that people are like, the sky's falling, run and go buy something real quick. I mean, that's, I don't object to that either. But it doesn't necessarily have to be so. Here's why. Yes, CMHC changed the rules, but there's two other insurers in Canada. One's called Canada Guarantee and the other's called Genworth. And both of them put out announcements earlier this week that they're not changing a darn thing. So they're not going to match what CMHC decided to do. And by the way, this is significant because traditionally they do. So what it means for buyers out there right now is there's not much of a change. Traditionally, so how it works, just to set it up, if somebody submits, you buy a house and you submit to get a mortgage, it goes to the lender says yes, and then they send it to the insurer, and the insurer has to say yes. All that's happened now is if those ratios are extended, so if that person still goes and buys that $500,000 house, which they had a pre-approval for, there's only two insurers they can send it to, and one of those two has to say yes. So in other words, your impact to the average consumer, probably pretty minimal. Just one less choice is off the table. That's nothing to get blown away by, or anything like that stuff.
So if you guys have any questions about what we talked about today, or you want to talk to Jim about getting a pre-approval, reach out to Autumn or I, and we'll get you connected.